Alright, Fielder Noise drums. Having some fun with this one. Every time I do drums, I try one new thing and to see if I can improve tracking, getting a more finished sound, which is, I guess, the goal always. Let's start over here. Snare drum, 57, and GT44 on the bottom. Groove Tubes GT44 cardioid capsule on that. I'm using 604s on the toms. I'm using the Rode M5s and XY as overs. Thought I'd try that this time. I've never done that before on drum overheads to help center the snare image better. Really pleased with the results on that. Behind the drums, I'm using Warm FET 47s. I did this on a session, and I really love the way these sound behind the drums. They gather all the attack on the toms, kick, snare, and also add a cool sound for the cymbals. Out front here, I've got DS35s, Electro voice, room mics. I was in the past using the Warm FET 47s, but I find myself EQing a lot of mid-range out of them. So I decided to use a DS35 because these mics have a really tight low end, a very silky top end, and just kind of organically soften the mid-range. And I'm really happy with the way these sound. Freaking love them. And I'm just pointing them at the wall. I just want to gather the body of the room with those. Using the new to me, had this for a while, a couple months now, Warm 47. What's cool about this mic is a coworker of mine had a NOS GE 12AT7, I think, and so I swapped the tube out and put it in there, and am just tickled at how cool it sounds in that microphone. Drums, kick drum, I've got the D6 on the inside for smacky tack, and then I've got the AKG D112 on the inside. Here's a little overall shot. So that's what we're doing here. And then if we zoom out, got this bad boy. This is a Samson CO1. This is my very first ever condenser mic. And this thing, I pulled it out for tracking American cheese songs because I had not used it in a long time and was just tickled. As you can see, we're moved in with the way that it sounded. So let's go over some console stuff. So I've got kick in channel 1, bringing up 60, cutting out some 250, bringing up some 4K, and then that is 6K. I just want to make that microphone so freaking smacky. Kick out, I'm boosting an obscene amount of 60 to make that thing just like a sub thumper. Scooping out, had some overtones around that frequency, wherever that is. And I'm scooping out. I'm basically trying to make a low pass filter by stacking the 6K shelf all the way down and then grabbing around 1K down snare top. Boosting up 120 for the weight. Sucking out, I had some overtones, just notching those out a little bit. And that's it. Snare bottom. Next up. Nothing on the low. Boosting up a little bit of the weight in that. I really don't like the way 1K sounds on undersnare mics. That's just something I found that I don't care for. And so I took it out and I brightened up the top end. That's a 12K shelf. And then my overheads right here. This is really exciting. I just dropped in some transformers in these channels this week. So I wanted to try them on overheads, and I'm just tickled at how good that sounds. And I'm using no EQ. The mono room, which is the W47 tube mic that we're doing. Any EQ on that? We are pulling out 1K. Some of the boxiness of that one. Toms, I did do. So toms, no low boost. This is tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. And then I'm bringing up, I'm just bringing up some top end on all of them. And then some 10K. And then the front rooms, let's see what I'm doing for EQ on those. I am doing nothing on EQ, but I'll tell you what I am doing is I've gotten in this thing to make my room sound bigger. I pull in this processor, which is the M300, and I'm all the way wet, and I'm on reverb, and I just kind of shape a drum room, which I'm in the drum box, and then I just dial in. This is a color. It's got just a tone knob, color, and then decay, and then pre-delay to taste. But it's really cool because I can get a nice room sound out of my mics, since my room is smaller down there. Really tight, clear sound, very smooth sounding room. I freaking love the way it sounds. My rears, these are the FET 47s in the back. And where are we at? I'm doing nothing to those. Then the far room, the CO1, I'm doing nothing to that. I am, however, on the input of every single channel, I'm recording it through an API onto tape. And I started doing this on the Addison record because I was like, you know what? I don't have a tape machine, but I love the way drums sound on tape. And I absolutely love the way this Key of Audio tape face sounds. Sounds awesome. Just a really cool sound. So I do that on this. And I do some more equalization on this. So my process has become, I get the sound of the drums on the console to where I'm really happy with it, and then I bring it in here, and then I bring it home. Rear rooms, I flip-flop my stereo image downstairs, so instead of patching my console, I just flip this, pop that in. This is just in for color. Far room, this is that CO1, and I'm pulling out some 1.5K, and then I'm doing a shelf at 2.5K, 180, pulling that out, and I'm sucking a little bit of the sub out, not much. Tape face, and I did slap a pi on there to make that smack a little more. Mono room, that's the W47, 10K shelf, scooping it down. I just wanted cymbals out of it just because I wanted the weight from toms and kick. Overheads, these are flat. Nope, lied. High pass. Let's kick in. I am doing more, bringing up 5K and 15K to make the attack inside kick more aggressive. Kick out. And then on the kick, I didn't notice on the other one, but I'm using the expander on the API. And I'll be honest, the expander on this API channel strip is probably my favorite expander ever. It just seems to work so well for me. I've really come to prefer the expander over a gate. There's just something about just having that little bit of noise coming through that helps glue the sound together, especially on drums, so it doesn't feel like something's just sticking out like a sore thumb. It just really comes together nicely. So I like that. And I'm tracking with all this in, so I'm committing all this. Kick out, I'm bringing up a lot of 40, sucking up out some of the high end again, 2.5K, bringing that all the way down. snare top. I am bringing up some 12.5K and some 5K and then some more low-endy stuff, so 180 and then 100, just stacking that up a little bit. And I do have, the thing is cool is you can pick how much you want to reduce the off times before it's triggered. You can see right here I'm going down to 12. This helps to keep some of those ghost notes in between, which is nice. And then this guy here, this is the snare bottom. I've got a high pass at 200, and I'm doing sucking a little bit of 700 just to really, I like the sizzle. Like the way I like that GT44, the top end is really smooth on it, so I can just feather that in just to make the snare just sound more complete on the hits. And then I'm doing a pretty heavy threshold on that one to keep it by itself. Toms, I'm just using the expanders on this just to cut out any noise in between. So there's that. And then we can listen to all of these sounds. So we'll do that.